this is Myra Elaine from the Buying Space channel. I continue to read from the Torah. The Hebrew is on this side, and the English translation directly from the Hebrew is on this side. Then came Joseph and told Pharaoh and said, My father and my brothers and their flocks and their herds and all they have are come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brothers, 5 men, and presented them before Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brothers, What is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, Thy servants are shepherds, both we as also our father. They said, moreover, unto Pharaoh, To sojourn in the land we are come, because there is no pasture for our flocks of thy servants, for the famine is sore in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, saying, Thy father and thy brothers are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. The best of the land let thy father and brothers dwell. Let them dwell in the land of Goshen, and if thou knowest that there are among these men of activity, then appoint them chiefs over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and placed him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, How old art thou? And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The days of the years of my sojourning are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of my years of my life, and I have not attained unto the days of the years of my life, my fathers, in the days of their sojourning. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and went out before Pharaoh. And Joseph assigned places of residence for his father and his brothers, and gave them possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph supplied his father and his brothers and all his father's household with bread in proportion to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for famine was very sore. The land of Egypt, the land of Canaan, fainted by reason to the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the provision which they brought. And Joseph brought the money to Pharaoh's house. And where the money was all spent in the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread. Wherefore should we die in the presence, since the money is all gone? And Joseph said, Give up your cattle. I will give you for your cattle, if all the money is gone. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks of sheep, and for the herds of cattle, and for the asses. And he supplied them with bread for all their cattle for that year. And when the year was ended, they came unto him, and the second year they said unto him, We will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money with our herds of cattle hath entirely passed into the possession of my Lord. There is not left a sight of my Lord, but our bodies in our land. Wherefore shall we die before thy eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we, our land, will be thy servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed, and we may live and not die, and that the land be not rendered desolate. And Joseph brought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to the cities, from one end of the borders of Egypt to another end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priest had a portion assigned them by Pharaoh, and they ate their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they did not sell their land. Then said Joseph to the people, Behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and sow ye the land. And they shall come to pass in the harvest times that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, and the seed of the field for your food, for those belonging to your households, and for food for your little ones. And they said, Thou hast saved our lives. Let us but find grace in the eyes of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a statute unto this day over the land of Egypt, that Pharaoh should have the 5th part, except the land of the priests along became not Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, and in the country of Goshen, and there they had possessions therein, and were fruitful, and multiplied exceedingly. We are still in chapter 47, but we are entering the last part of the book of Genesis. This is the name of the section, starting in verse 28 of chapter 27 into the end of Genesis. And Jacob lived in this land of Egypt 17 years, and the days of Jacob, the years of his life, were 147 years. And the time of Israel drew near, that was to die, and he sent to call his son Joseph, and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy eyes, put I pray thee thy hand under thy thigh, and deal with me in kindness and truth. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt. But when I shall lie with my fathers, thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burial place. And he said, I will do this thou hast said. And he said, Swear unto me. He swore unto him, and Israel bowed himself upon the head of the bed. So he had a last request from Joseph. Jacob, also known as Israel, was passing, and he wanted to be buried with Isaac and Rachel and Abraham, his father and grandfather, in the land of Canaan, not in the land of Egypt. And it was done. So next time we will start on chapter 28 and see how the story of Joseph, who started out as the young boy with a coat of many colors, ends. And he's been reunited with his father and his entire family, and has saved them repeatedly because of the famine. And we will start seeing more of the results of Joseph's brothers selling him into slavery and betraying him. Even though all has been forgiven at this point, there are going to be further consequences of that betrayal and the tribes of Israel having to move out of the land of Canaan and into Egypt. Have a wonderful and blessed day, everyone.